Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't need any rocket science to understand that there is a widening rift between William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua. They seem to be pulling away from each other, politically speaking. Each of them is reading from a different book. But unknown to Rigathi Gachagua, the situation where they are today is the same place where William Ruto was with his former boss, Uhuru Kenyatta. And so every move that Gachagua would think of making, every step, William Ruto is ahead of him. And I know that Rigathi Gachagua is one person who is very ruthless. He does not mince his words. Recently, he went to the UDA head offices and held a very urgent, unique meeting just to show William Ruto that he's also on top of things. I have realized that William Ruto has developed some secret cards to annihilate Rigathi Gachagua politically, because when you look at Rigathi Gachagua, he has been confined to central politics, Mount Kenya, because Rigathi Gachagua is not a friend of the supporters of Kalonzo Musyoka in Eastern. I saw leaders from that side telling him to respect Kalonzo because he's their son. And he's not a friend to the supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga because he keeps on saying that Raila wants to get to the government through the back door. And so William Ruto has realized that he should confine Rigathi Gachagua within the Mount Kenya politics. And even with that, William has ensured that he is creating more enemies, fighting Uhuru Kenyatta and all these people. That is why recently he realized that he was on a wrong path when he realized that William Ruto is quoting the sons of Mulembe, the Western nation, and he said he wanted to meet Uhuru Kenyatta. But the darkest scheme that William Ruto has with Rigathi Gachagua goes beyond that. There is one that I've realized. It is with the coffee sector and the tea. Rigathi Gachagua used to talk about fighting the cartels because they had accused the former regime of neglecting their farmers. So William Ruto decided that instead of talking about the cartels and telling William Ruto every now and then that we should go to Sagana Lodge to ensure that we talk about coffee, have given you that responsibility. So he handed fully that responsibility to Rigathi Gachagua. I want you to see how Rigathi Gachagua started.
Kuna ukora mingi sana ilifanywa mambo ya majani chai na kahawa na ile watu ya serikali ambayo imeondoka. Na iko kazi yenu Senator Wahome ya kahawa. Muunganishe ikuwe pamoja na majani chai. Tusukume majani chai na kahawa at the same time because it's the same issue. Tafadhali. Tunaanzia maneno ya kahawa na majani chai na maziwa. And this is the reason we shall succeed. Why it has not been possible to deal with cartels ambaye wanaibia wakulima ya chai na kahawa na maziwa ni kwa sababu wale wamekuwa hizo serikali walikuwa interested parties wanafanya hiyo biashara ya kahawa na majani chai na maziwa. Gutire hede nugu igrashirire shira wa mutito ukorwa wake hoto. Ate nugu shuri okamete itini no cietekere. Igetekera. Why will succeed in coffee reforms, tea reforms and milk reforms for the benefit of the farmer? It's the simple reason that Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto are not conflicted. We have no interest in the coffee subsector, in the tea subsector, in the milk subsector. Kwa hivyo makatele yote na mabroka tutafukuza asubuhi na mapema wawache kula pesa ya wakulima. Na mimi mwenyewe nitaanzana na hiyo watu January. Na nemaji hoye.
After issuing those tough warnings, Rigathi Gachagua started holding meetings here and there with stakeholders, and he thought it was going to be a walk in the park. After trying here and there, he realized it was not very easy. because he realized that the cartels were so much entrenched, the cartels in the coffee sector, it was not as easy as he thought it would be. Then he gave us this information about the cartels.
Fahali tumelemewa kabisa ni kahawa. Na tumelemewa si kwa sababu sisi ni wavivu ama tumeshindwa kufanya kazi. It's because the cartels are too entrenched. Wamejipanga hao makatel. Watu watatu wanne ni omari ya Rigathi na Murimi. They buy our coffee at a throwaway price and they don't tell us at how much. Then wanaenda kwa wazungu wanauza bei kali, wanakula ile pesa.
And when I listened to him, I thought this thing is overwhelming Rigathi Gachagua. But he promised that he was not going to give up. And still, he was very much convicted. He had the conviction that he was going to do away with the cartel in that sector. But yesterday, I was shocked to hear Gachagua confessing that it is like he has thrown in the towel and is now begging the cartels that instead of taking all the profits, because it is said that the cartels would buy the coffee very cheaply and they will be selling them abroad exorbitantly. So Rigathi Gachagua decided that if you cannot beat the cartels, join them. And he was begging them, please, let us separate, let us divide the profit on a 50-50 basis. Don't take all of it. In other words, he has realized that he cannot fight the cartels, and so they have to eat together.
The brokers and middlemen who have been buying coffee and tea, we have nothing against them. All we are asking, can we share the profit with you? Don't take everything. And that is the battle we have had with them in coffee, because they want to take everything. And we know how much they sell and how much they pay us. Our fight with them is, can we share 50-50 on the profit?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the scheme that I think William Ruto is using to finish Rigathi Gachagua politically in Central. In this video, I just have 3 ways by which William Ruto is using to finish him using the coffee cartels. And as we delve into this, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel if you have not done so, and click the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you of our videos, and then like our videos and share them, and I would really appreciate you. To all our esteemed supporters, I am really humbled to have you as part of my team, and may God bless you as you continue lifting our channel even to the greatest levels. William Ruto wants to portray Rigathi Gachagua as someone who does not have a plan, because he used to talk very tough about the cartels and he promised that he was going to do away with them. He started the blame game, that it was the former regime that was not able because they were part and parcel of the problem. Then slowly he came back saying that these people are so much entrenched in this sector that it is not easy to deal with them. Then finally he came back and said, we can share the profit, don't take all of it. So when you look at Rigathi Gachagua, he is a planless leader, just talking, but does not have a roadmap on how to achieve the intended purpose. And you see, with that, people will look at him as someone who is not able to take over from William Ruto, someone who cannot even take over from Mount Kenya. That is what William Ruto wants to do. Number 2, William Ruto knew very well that if Rigathi Gachagua would be given an opportunity to annihilate all the cartels in Central, then he would take the bragging rights. As he has always indicated, he's manifesting himself as the sole spokesperson of Mount Kenya. When you remember when Sakaja wanted to take the public long distance vehicles from the CBD to Green Park, he was really against it. And he said that this was going to interfere with businessmen from Mount Kenya. And so he was also wanted to annihilate the cartels so that he could brag with it, so that he could unite Mount Kenya behind him, the way he has always said, and use it as a campaign tool. But if there is one thing that William Ruto cannot do, is to allow Rigathi Gachagua to excel politically, because if he succeeds, that is the day William Ruto's political problems will start. William Ruto's problems begin when Rigathi Gachagua succeeds in Central. And so William Ruto wanted to ensure that he fails in his bid to fight the coffee cartels, so that it is seen as a failure, so that he will not take the bragging rights. William Ruto did not want to be confined to an area, because Rigathi Gachagua had started this issue. Every now and then they want to tour Mount Kenya. They begin with Githurai, Kenol, all that, and then it culminates in Sagana Lodge, where they are talking about issues of pyrethrum, coffee, milk, and all that. So William Ruto decided, let me give you this to deal with. As you allow me to go and deal with the sugar sector in Nyanza, I deal with other problems, because William Ruto is now first, he's got the burden of the nation with him. He's trying to all the supporters to give him a second bid for 2027, and that's why he's in Nyanza, he's in Western, he's in the coast. But Rigathi Gachagua wanted to confine him, saying that they're the shareholders, they gave him the large share of votes. William Ruto realized that this was not going to work that way. So he decided, Rigathi, wewe chukua hiyo, deal with it so that I can be free. And what he did also was to wash his hands the way Pilate did, the biblical Pilate, when Jesus was about to be crucified, and he told them, I have looked at this man, I have not seen, and he is not culpable. I feel is innocent. But if you so decide that you want to crucify him, I have washed my hands. So it is like William Ruto washed his hands and he handed the burden to his deputy. So should there be any failure, Rigathi Gachagua will carry that burden, because ye mwenyewe alijitokeza. He came out and said that he was fighting these people. Ruto will finally take over, because we've seen Rigathi Gachagua is almost, throwing the towel, saying, hey, hawa watu tumeshindwa, hebu tugawe hii katikati, hii profit, msichukue yote, I'm pleading with you. You see, a person who was talking tough, then he later says, no, wacha tugawe katikati, let us divide it. It means amelemewa. He has admitted failure. He has admitted defeat. So William Ruto will come in and will crush all these cartels. Let me ask you, as the president, if William Ruto wanted, if he orders that these cartels should be crushed within one day, do you think it can take hours? Or if he decides that I've given you 1 week or 1 month, these people will be crushed within no minute, because he has the machinery, he's got the intelligence. If he's committed to crushing, he can crush them. But he does not want to do that. He will decide to do it on his own, in a manner that all the Mount Kenya people will know that Rigathi tried, but he was unable to finish all the cartels. And so William Ruto will take the bragging rights, will take the political mileage out of it. He will crush them once and for all, so that Rigathi Gachagua will not go back to the people and say that unajua mimi nilipambana nikamaliza hii mambo ya cartels. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is a poisoned chalice that Rigathi Gachagua must be very careful of, because it is meant to finish him politically in Central and to finish him politically in Kenya. I don't know what you think, but that is my take.